Hey, welcome back, Matty Collector fans, to the latest update on Masters of the Universe Classics. I'm Scott Knightlick, also known as Toy Guru on the forums, and here to talk about some of the 2015 figures for Motu Classics. The line, once again, you guys made happen. The line that's going to wrap up all of the vintage figures, and by the end of the year, we are going to have a full collection. But what you're really here to see are the toys, so let's start off with Lizard Man. So Lizard Man here is our January 2015 figure. So here he is. When you saw him in San Diego, he was still, prototype, not movable. But here he is made of plastic. He's almost complete. There's still a few tweaks to him, but I'll kind of show you what he's got going. Some Moduloc parts on the arms and legs, the thinner arms and legs that he had. And then there's a new chest torso. It is one piece. It does not have articulation at the ab in order to preserve the look of Lizard Man. It's similar to like Mary Marvel we did in the DCU line. It was a deliberate choice not to give him the ab crunch in order to preserve the aesthetic of Lizard Man. So the harness, not the harness, I guess the little tunic, blue tunic thing, that's part of the chest. It's not removable. Hands are obviously new. It's got this really cool effect there. This is all Brandon Sapinski, our designer. He used a special plastic on the hands in order to have sort of transparency in the webbing. So the whole hand is cast in transparent plastic and then painted green except for the webbing. And that's on both hands. You can't see it as well on the second one because it's gripped, but it also has the webbing there in the translucent plastic. Really going the extra mile. Brandon is driving it home. Tail is not articulated. I know some people are asking, so it's part of the, it's attached there to the cloth. Otherwise, fully articulated, does all the Lizard Man things that he should do. He is going to come with two accessories. He will have Skeletor's Filmation Sword, and he will have the Diamond Ray of Disappearance. So for those of you keeping track at home, this was the very first magical object in the pilot episode of the Filmation series. This is what Skeletor, the object he was trying to get, or did get. And another way Brandon also took it to the next level, the Diamond Ray glows in the dark. So that little diamond there, that is made of glow-in-the-dark plastic. So the box won't glow, but the diamond inside will glow in the dark. It's also sculpted to be gripped by Skeletor or any other character with a gripping hand, so that he'll hold it really nicely. So that's the January figure. After January, we're going to go vintage with Ninjor, or Ninja Warrior, as legal will now allow us to call him, but we all know it's Ninjor. This guy's loaded. He has a lot going on. So he has quite a few accessories. So he's got his nunchucks. Now, it does not have a real metal chain. I know the vintage toy did have a metal chain, but he basically has so much going on, we couldn't throw that in as much as we wanted to. So he's got that. I'll kind of turn him around a little bit so you can see some of the other weapons. They all come off. So he's got, he's got his bow there, bow and arrow. I'll take that off there. He's got his sword that clipped right there into the arrow quiver that also attaches to his back. And then he has a removable belt. So this is more vintage Ninjor, shall we say? And then this belt kind of gives him a little 2000X feel, or based on the color choice, this belt might really be good on Jitsu as well. It's almost like we did that on purpose. So you get an awesome extra belt. It's going to be packed off of him so that he will have his vintage look in the blister card, because we know a lot of people like to display them in the blister and preserve that vintage look. So this will be packed kind of like next to him in the package. And then, of course, he will have a removable head, just like usually. I'll pull that right off. Pop on the second head there. Whoops, come on. Sometimes they're a little tricky. There's a lot of people think sometimes that the vintage figure had Jitsu's head, and that's not correct. If you actually, the vintage figure had a cloth face mask, and if you took the cloth face mask off, you would reveal this head. It was a totally original head. And so that's what the Horseman created here. Obviously, it's not a cloth that you can remove, but by swapping the heads, you could do either look that you could do with the vintage figure if you unwrapped the cloth and revealed his demonic red eyes underneath. Yes, Jitsu, the demonic ninja from outer space. Oh, there goes Ninja Man, or Lizard Man. Okay. Huntara. Huntara's next. The fan choice figure. You guys selected this figure way back at Comic-Con, like 2 years ago. So here she is, straight from the POP series, from Filmation. She's probably one of the most cool barbaric female figures we've ever done. She's got her two laser swords that, if I can get one out of her hand there, that will clip to her back, just like that. So both of them will clip right there or hold in her hand. She's got all the standard articulation, all the awesome badassness, is that a word, badassness, that Huntara, the bounty hunter from Silax, should have. Now, she will come with a third accessory, that's this little axe here. Why does she come with that? Well, the axe really goes with another figure. This guy here, Ular, the Jungle He-Man. So he is our sub-only figure for 2015. You can only get Ular if you've subscribed to the full year. He will come with a lot of stuff, but his axe wound up shipping with Huntara. It was just a paperwork thing. Try not to look into it. I know that people are always overanalyzing all sorts of conspiracies. It just wound up with Huntara, but it belongs for Ular, or Huntara can carry it. But Ular will come with his awesome barbarian spear, this awesome mini comic sword that was our mystery sword at Comic-Con that does come with Ular. And Ular will come with a second head, which if you pop that second head onto a original 2009 He-Man, you can have an awesome vintage toy He-Man. The original head that came with this figure was kind of an amalgam of all He-Men that Eric and CB had created. But we really wanted to go super vintage in this case, since Ular is based on He-Man's appearance in the very first mini-comic. So this is what he looked like when he, the character that just sort of popped out of the jungle and was like, all right, I'm off to go have adventures now. Bye, Jungle Tribe. That was way before Prince Adam or any of that stuff came along, which is why we made him a unique character, since clearly Prince Adam didn't just wander out of the jungle. But either way, you get an awesome second head that comes with Ular that you could pop onto his body, pop onto any of your existing He-Men to make a really cool vintage-looking He-Man figure. Nice bonus that will only be available with Ular. We won't be reissuing this head in order to make Ular special for you guys who subbed, because it should be. All right, we'll just put them down there. All right, Ular, stand up. Quarterly. So we have our first quarterly figure, and that is going to be our very first Versus 2-pack. We've done a lot of 2-packs in the past, usually army builders like Snake Men or Horde Troopers, Palace Guards, that kind of thing. This time, in order to really maximize every slot for 15, we are presenting the very first 2000X variant, something we've been promising for years we wanted to get to. So here you have Snake Armor He-Man and because Battle Armor King Hiss we're calling him, but really kind of the 2000X look. Let's look at He-Man first, but they're going to come in a 2-pack together. So this figure came out in the 2002-2003 line, but the figure was only released in Europe. So a lot of people never had a chance to get Snake Armor He-Man. This was his major look on the second season of the series. So he had quite a few toy variants, but this was the only one that actually really appeared in the show. Give or take Ice Armor He-Man, who appeared in one episode. So he has his 2000X sword that originally came with Man-at-Arms in 2009, as well as in a weapons pack. And then a bashed up version came with King Grayskull. King He-Man. This is the one that came with Man-at-Arms, the one that's not bashed up, but it's in a more of a flat gray color with two-tone, just like the classic Power Sword. That will go right into his back scabbard. The pincher claw is removable, so it's kind of like you can simulate them coming in and out of the wrist guard there. Just clicks right in. And he has one of the very first new He-Man head sculpts. Well, I guess you get 2 new He-Man head sculpts kind of in the same month next year. We've had the same He-Man head sculpt for years, and we were finally able to kind of unlock the 2000X style and give him more of a shaggy hair 2000X look. Fans have wondered for years, what would it look like? Well, there you go. The Horsemen have created a 2000X head for classics, and obviously pops right off. If you wanted to say, put the 2000X head onto He-Man's body. Still a prototype, but there you go. That's what he looks like. So a lot of diversity and a lot of customization. Speaking of which, let's look at the other figure in this 2-pack. Let me give He-Man his head back. I never like to leave him decapitated there. So the other figure in the 2-pack is an amazing, amazing King Hiss. We've wanted to get to another King Hiss for years, and this is really a cool look for him. He's got a lot of new tooling and some reuse parts. He's got the original King Hiss shoulders on correctly. We are paying very much attention to that. He's got the snake shield, the snake staff. You can see it's the same staff that some of the other Snake Men have come with, but just in new colors. Now, here's the original King Hiss next to him for comparison. The torso does split in 2, just like the original King Hiss. So here's the original one, same thing. And all the parts are totally interchangeable. So you could take 2000X King Hiss, and you could pop it onto the original body, just like that. Or here's the original King Hiss. You can take the snake half from the original one, and let's see, put that on the 2000X body. Now, we are going to be doing a new top snake half, a 2000X one. We showed that at Comic-Con. It has way more snakes. It's kind of bigger and kind of more badassness. I'll use that word again that I made up. Someone copyright that. That snake half does not come with this pack. We just couldn't afford to put it in there because it's so big. You saw it at Comic-Con. That snake half will be coming with another figure later in 2015, but it will be part of the subscription. So you will get it if you've subbed. You just won't be getting it specifically with this 2-pack. You'll just get the 2 figures and the 2 accessories. The giant 2000X snake piece, can I recreate this here? That will come down the line, and of course, will be completely interchangeable, so you'll wind up with, 6 different pieces that you can swap around and make your ultimate King Hiss that you want to make between vintage parts and 2000X parts. So really cool way to customize King Hiss, get out some more He-Man, get out Ular and more vintage figures, fan choice figures, Lizard Man. It's going to be an amazing 2015. We've got a lot more figures to reveal and a lot more excitement for the year. Come back here, check out our news section, check out our forums, let us know what you think, give us all your feedback because we're listening to you and we're making this toy line for you guys, the collectors. We love doing it and we'll keep making them as long as you guys keep supporting the line. I'm Scott Neitlich. It's always a pleasure, and I'll see you on the Matty Collector forums.